Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming for this session. I'm Barbara Schiavi, and I'm developing and leading some of our AR and VR projects at the R&D department of BIM engineering at VINCI Construction France. And today I'd like to talk to you about construction use cases where we found that AR and VR are useful and powerful tools to solve issues. But for this, I need to tell you about BIM first, as the 3D model used to develop AR and VR application are not only 3D visuals. VINCI Construction France is a VINCI Group subsidiary and France's leading construction company. It works across all building, civil engineering, networks, specialty business activities, and property development. And for over 10 years, we have been executing projects in BIM, building information modeling, and which has been revolutionizing our construction process. BIM provides a structure for project management, 3D model, engineering, architecture data architecture, and the use of a collaborative platform. So every detail of a building is in the 3D model. And also, the digital modeling enables risks to be identified, to be managed, and as well as raising the awareness of the employees as a result of providing them with a safe environment. So, as you will see, BIM improves the safety, increases efficiency, sustainability, and reduces the operating costs. So here are some examples of completed project of VINCI Construction France using BIM. So the first one is Îlot Fontenoy in Paris, which is it was a renovation project of 230 million euros. And the key of the success in this project was the full collaboration and logistics provided by the BIM. Another project is La Cité du Vin in Bordeaux, which is a beautiful creative work of 81 million euros. As you can see, it's shaped as a wine carafe. And it was a very complex construction project in the building phase when design review were necessary. We have been able, thanks to BIM, to manage the changes, to prioritize the identified technical problems, and to challenge the building trades to find the adequate solutions. So despite BIM is being around for a couple of years now, there are still some areas where we need the implementation of new tools and solutions to bring the BIM to the construction site and then the site's data back to the BIM. And as we want to eliminate the well-known digital divide between the design office and the construction site, VINCI Construction France has invested a lot in providing tablets in our websites that give us access to BIM viewers, BIM files, augmented reality, etc., as well as investing in research and development. So that's the goal for my team and I, is to develop and deploy the most suitable tools to help our foremen, charge handies, and operators. So we also deploy and supervise the deployment of ready-to-use solutions existing in the market. So there are actually many use cases where AR and VR are useful, but today I will talk about quality control. So why this focus is because, for this, the operator uses a tablet or smart glasses to view the digital drawing, the retrieved digital drawing of an installation under construction, and superimposes it in the real-life situation to check the compliance, if it's consistent with the drawing, and if it's correctly assembled. And this is already a huge step forward compared to how assembly compliance is checked nowadays. Indeed, like traditional method involve an operator using a 2D plan and tape measure and spirit level. And in the better case, so they have their tablets with the BIM viewer and they can check between the 3D model and like a wall or a reinforcement, or even better, they can use a 3D scan of the area and then check on the computer, so it takes a long time of this process. All these traditional methods take a long time and are sometimes skipped because of the short schedule and the money costs. But the consequences are even worse because, for example, corrective coring that can add enormous additional costs. This operation involves boring a new hole in a concrete wall where there is a location errors. So yes, we have things, this takes time, but therefore traditional methods give us results in accuracy that AR cannot provide us yet, and that's one of the big challenges we have faced with the HoloLens so far. Last year we deployed a French solution called VINCI project in the Trinity Tower in Paris La Défense, a project of 320 million euros. And so it's a HoloLens application where by pointing at two physical locations, you make the 3D area appears. And you can upload everything you want from the digital model if you want to check the conduits, if you want to check the pipe sleeves, everything you want. And also it's important because you can display and consult the beam data. So by using this solution, we wanted to check the concrete walls before pouring concrete, which resulted in 81% of success of pipe sleeves executed compared to 90% usually. We wanted to control from step 1 to 30 all the pipe sleeves after pouring concrete and the beams before pouring concrete, and which resulted in 2 hours of control per stair instead of 8 hours. And finally, we wanted to control all the implementation of guardrails, which resulted in 4 less times rearranging the guardrails. So we had pretty good results. The return on investment was positive, but actually there were some issues that make us actually not so happy with the solution. First of all, you need someone from VINCI project to do the links between the 3D point in the model, to link them with the physical area. It's not a turnkey solution. And then the construction site conditions make it really hard for the mapping to stay stable and accurate because of sun brightness, the darkness, obstructions. And then we were actually not so happy that with the obstruction on the goggles of the operator, because it can limit his field of view and it can distract him. So as a construction site is a very dangerous environment, we cannot let anything happen because of that. And finally, the HoloLens hardware is too costly for this kind of project and for quality control compared to a tablet that actually some work sites often already have. So after a benchmark of our solution for AR and VR, for AR in quality control, we choose to deploy 2 different ones, both in tablets and turnkey solution. So the first one is Dalux, a Danish solution that we deployed on the Geneva airport since August. And the second one is a French solution called Horus that we deployed on the Origin construction site since September. So of course we do not have any return on investment yet, but we have a very good feedback from the operators and the general foreman that he said it's really easy to use and they use it to control on a daily basis. So, and also they were actually not so happy, they complain about something that we already know, which is the accuracy, because they are comparing it with a 3D scan So we know that you cannot get the same accuracy with AR than a 3D scan. So we have just seen that AR could help for quality control and gain in productivity and efficiency. So now I would like to make a focus on the prevention safety in virtual reality. And why this focus? It's because a construction site, a construction is a sector of activity where there is no two identical sites, and therefore it's very difficult to set up like industry standard processes. So, however, the health and the safety of our workers is a constant and absolute priority for us, because when an accident happens, it's rarely harmless. So VR is a powerful platform in this regard. It gives room for errors that you cannot do in reality, and one of its great strengths is to put you in a dangerous environment with any consequences that you cannot reproduce in the real life for prevention safety session, for example. And of course, we do have traditional courses for risk hunting and everything, but they are set up in a way that it is not. It's way in a corrective way that you cannot reproduce the same sensation when you are actually living an accident, something. So the first application is a simulation to prevent the risk of a collision between man and machines. So the collision between the man and machines are randomly simulated, and they give them the psychological feeling of being there. This one is used at our training center, of course, but also on a daily basis by our team manager and general foreman at the BIM booth, which is like a digital totem that you can find on our websites. And it's used, for example, as a focal point during the 15-minute safety session at the beginning of every day. The second application is a simulation of operating modes to learn how to work safely. So in this one, the operator repeats the procedure of laying concrete slabs, and if he doesn't pay attention to the danger that appear randomly, he can go as far as leaving a virtual accident. It's also used to prevent serious falls, and really it's used to learn how to remain safe while working and solving problems. The last example is a risk hunting training in VR, and on this one, it has been developed in a way that at each session you have a unique configuration, and it's more about a global simulation of all errors that you can meet in the construction site, and to emphasize the importance of learning how to fix errors, because, for example, by not fixing an error, you can of this scaffolding, it may collapse later, and it relies on script writing the virtual environment, because it's linked with the BIM object, meaning that you can upload any BIM project on the virtual application, and it will work the same as it's linked. So that's one of the important things that we need to keep the data from the BIM model. But the most important things for all of this simulation is that it's way more powerful than explanation on the job, especially for foreigners by absolving the language barrier, and for temporary workers that change their work environment and job regularly. So the experience of using AR for quality control with the BIM map project and the HoloLens on the Trinity Tower for quality control gave us a confident belief in this usage, because it leads to better quality and efficiency and productivity gain. We do not have the accuracy expected, yet we believe it could be possible in the near future. And so the productivity gain and efficiency is very important, but at no time it must interfere with the health and the safety of our workers. And BIM and its virtual reality application are excellent training materials as the technology leads to enable the worker to make mistakes with any consequences, but it's impossible in the real life. And by learning by making mistakes enables the trainee to adopt the checking culture, and also by seeing the environment prior to to work in it, make us an important gain in the term of risk prevention and work site efficiency. So at the BIM engineering department, we work hard and smart to develop and to deploy the most suitable tools for our construction sites in the BIM workflow. And because VINCI Construction France and also General Construction Company are take on projects that are increasingly ambitious and demanding, we all better be ready. So thank you for listening. And now, if you have a question, comment, also feel free to reach me at my email if you have comment or any solution you want to discuss. Thank you.